We begin with French elections. French voters are headed to the polls on Sunday in the first round of snap parliamentary elections that could usher in the country's first far-right government since World War II, a potential sea change at the heart of the European Union. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron stunned the country when he called the vote after his centrist alliance was crushed in European elections this month by Marine Le Pen's national rally. Le Pen's anti-immigrant party was a long-time pariah but is now closer to power than it has ever been. The polls opened at 6 a.m. GMT and will now close at 1600 hours GMT in small towns and cities, with an 1800 hours GMT finish in the bigger cities when the first exit polls for the night and seat projections for the decisive second round a week later are expected. However, the electoral system can make it hard to estimate the precise distribution of seats in the 577-seat National Assembly, and the final outcome will not be known until the end of voting on July 7th. The turnout rate was up significantly as of 12 p.m. local time in mainland France at 25.90% as compared with 18.43% for the 2022 ballot. At the same time, the Ministry of the Interior said the outcome of this election could affect European financial markets, Western support for Ukraine and France's nuclear arsenal and global military force. There are 49.5 million registered voters in France. And let's quickly go live across to Ross Collin, who is joining us live from Paris. Ross, thank you very much for joining us. To begin with, share the latest information as far as the polling is concerned. The polling progression, latest on that.
Well, we do have the turnout numbers, 29.5% so far compared to 2022, compared to 2017, the two most recent previous general elections, and it certainly is higher when you add in the fact that 2.5 million people have also registered to vote by proxy, well in excess of the numbers who registered to do so in 2022 and 2017. It does show that we are on track for a big number in terms of the turnout. 49 million people eligible to vote in France, and they do seem to be tapping into this sentiment that it is the most consequential election since the 1950s.
Yeah, most consequential and unprecedented elections, but there is also a clear sense of resentment against President Macron, which, by the way, is no secret anymore. You would agree what we saw in European elections. Expert called it a gamble, calling snap elections as far as Macron is concerned. But is it now just a matter of time for him to step down and pave a way for the new way France is going to be governed?
He said there's absolutely no chance of him doing that. Emmanuel Macron won the presidential election in 2022. He is able and willing to serve his 5-year term, full term to 2027. He says that no matter the result of these elections, he is determined to remain in the job. It's undeniable, though, that if the opposition were to win, he would come under increased pressure with a prime minister from a different party to try to govern with different political ideologies in the presidency and in the Prime Minister's office would be very tricky indeed, especially if that Prime Minister is coming from the far right's complete gulf in ideologies between President Macron and former presidential challenger Marine Le Pen, a most recognisable figurehead in the National Rally. It would likely be her protege, the party leader, 28-year-old Jordan Bardella, who would be installed as the new Prime Minister, becoming the youngest in French history if the National Rally were to win a majority. He has said he would not take up the post of Prime Minister if the National Rally is the biggest party but falls short of a majority. If it does so, it's likely to be more gridlock in Parliament. So all the three key sides, Emmanuel Macron's centrists, the left-wing coalition, Greens, Socialists, Communists and France Unbowed, and the far right are all hoping that they can actually win a straight outright majority and to be able to govern by themselves.
Having said that, Ross, what are the reasons attributed to Marine Le Pen's party's prominence? Many say that, well, she's not that popular as compared to the party. But what is it, as far as this party is concerned, which is cutting ice with the electorate of France?
Well, watching her campaign, seeing her move around the country, there certainly is a lot of popularity for Marine Le Pen. She's twice lost to President Macron in those presidential runoffs in 2017 and in 2022. But she says she's ready for 2027, third time lucky to try to come to the French presidency by winning that election in 3 years' time. She says and she hopes that her party will have 3 years now in power to lay the groundwork and put in the foundations for her to have an unassailable lead going into that presidential election in 3 years' time. She has tried to work hard on detoxifying her party. It has been plagued by allegations of Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, racism for many decades since her father established the party when it was the National Front. She's changed the name as well to the National Rally, and they are in a prominent position nationwide. It's undeniable after the European Union results, the elections there to the EU Parliament, that the National Rally is the most popular party at the moment across France.
So, one thing is certain, is it like a writing on the wall, Ross, that France is clearly gunning for change? The people there are clearly wanting a change at the top.
Yeah, so moving around from small villages to big cities to right-wing rallies to left-wing rallies, it certainly does seem that there is a lot of appetite for one of those two options. The numbers of people who are pledging their allegiance to stick with the centrist alliance at the heart of government, President Macron's party, currently the largest in Parliament, 171 MPs, and it's the biggest group in Parliament, all but certain to become third in the election if the projections are replicated at national level, with National Rally at the top, with the left-wing coalition, which is the New Popular Front, in second place, and Emmanuel Macron's centrist Together alliance likely to come third.
All right, we'll leave it there. Many thanks, Ross, for joining us live from Paris on French elections that, by the way, are underway as we speak. Thank you.